Back when I was starting to really delve into fitness and really learn all of the ins and outs of this industry, there was two big question marks that I just couldn't seem to wrap my mind around at first. How come people that were in jail, how are they able to get so big when they weren't following all the proper nutritional cues and protocols and stuff? How are they able to do that? And the second one, how in the world were people out on a farm able to become so freaking strong without lifting any weights? We're gonna cover that one today. This one falls right in line with isometric training. That's what we're about on this channel. And let's go, we're gonna go into this. This is awesome because I know that you guys have probably seen this in the weight room. You have probably seen this in some way, shape, or form in your life. For someone who has never lifted any weights, they are just freaking strong. And then without the proper knowledge, we would just go, okay, well then that guy's just naturally strong. Maybe. But what I've found having multiple people on the ISO chain already is I'm starting to ask this question whenever I notice a number that's a bit higher than normal when I visually assessed somebody. And when I see numbers that I would expect somebody to, look like that for, but they don't, first thing I ask is, hey, do you have a physical labor or manual labor type job? Every time that number's higher, they say yes. I don't think that's a coincidence. Farmer strength is that strength that comes from doing a lot of manual labor day in, day out, lots of time under tension, lots of holds. Here, take this for example. We have a farmer carrying a load of hay. Now, I'm not a farmer, so I could probably be butchering this, but I'm not sure how heavy these hay piles are, but I know they're not light at all. So they're gonna go and perform an isometric bicep curl and hold it as they're walking it over to where they need to walk it to. What we've learned about the iso chain, about the isometrics in general, is that there's time under tension and the load is high. What is going to happen? The strength is going to go up, and to a certain extent, depending on how long, how much duration is being held at the amount of force required to stimulate a hypertrophic response, that will trigger hypertrophy too. So if they're continually taking these hay piles and carrying it, isometric, dropping it, walking back over, holding, isometric, all the way, dropping it, holding, all right? It might not be pumping iron, but we're getting the stimuli required for a growth response. As a result, doing this day in and day out, these guys are getting freaking really strong. That's just a really basic example. Now we're gonna dive deeper into it. Yo, this is good. I love this stuff. Check this out. Here, I want to take this from dragondoor.com right now because they actually have an article on it. So I want to go over just this part real quick. This is cool. I would see this interesting type of strength in many ways over the years. I remember playing in a basketball tournament with inner city schools. We thought they would be the toughest, yet our worst beatdown was from a small Illinois school from the cornfields. Their endurance, strength, and physical play was far beyond anything we'd ever seen. Thinking back, we shouldn't have been surprised by their strength and endurance. This is going to make a lot of sense, what I'm about to say. This is hours upon hours upon hours of hard work, day in and day out. You want to go back to the 10 seconds of this video with explaining why people in jail get so freaking big? It's because it is what it is, all right? There's nothing else for them to do. There's nothing, they are locked up all day. So one of the variables for growth is frequency. When I train clients, let's say they're struggling on bench press. I'm actually currently doing this with a client right now. One of my clients right now, they're struggling with bench. Everything else is fine. So we've upped the frequency to now twice a week. If I really needed to jack it up, I'd go to 3 times a week, right? The frequency, how many times are we working that muscle? Because it might not be enough to stimulate a growth response, right? The frequency is one of the major aspects of really hammering home a growth response in the body. So if you go back to the jail situation, these guys have, if they're sleeping for 8 hours, but they have 16 hours to work out. 16 hours. That's a lot of working out. That's a lot of frequency. If they design the workout program correctly, they can really make some stupid gains. Sometimes I do imagine if I wasn't personal training, if I wasn't doing content creation, and I just had literally all day long, no other commitments. You know, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, if you went into the hyperbolic time chamber and it's just you and space for an entire year, we'd be coming out of there jacked with no equipment, by the way. None. No equipment at all. We would be freaking jacked. We'd also be dead because it's 10 times, it's more gravity, but that's besides the point. But we'd be jacked. There's nothing else to do but work out and get stronger. We have all that time to push ourselves. Going back to farming strength, it's hours and hours and hours of hard work. The muscles are constantly under load, and they start at 4 a.m. Any farmers on the channel, it's probably even earlier than that. You know, they got to make sure that everything's laid out. It has to be done. Sun up to sundown, baby. They are working. Total body workouts, some isolated movements like I was talking about. Here's the thing. When you look at them, and I can't speak for everyone. I cannot. Probably we'll see some definition. Maybe there's some jack farmer guys out there that don't lift any weights at all. But you probably won't see that much. But what you will see, though, is they are strong. They are able to produce a lot of power. Why? It's because they're doing a lot of holds, baby. What is that? Yielding isometric strength. That's yielding isometrics. They're doing holds all day. Now, of course, there's some dynamic lifting as well. Bodybuilder, let me talk to the bodybuilders for a minute. Y'all ever help somebody move, or you ever have to move? And it's just like, dang, yo, like I lift weights, right? But this is still exhausting, just in a different type of way. You're strong. There's nothing weak about you. You're strong, all right? But it's a different type of workout. It is. I've been in many moves over the years, and to be honest, the easiest move of my entire life was last year. I helped someone move, and I was fresh into my iso chain 3x6 program. I didn't feel a damn thing. Nothing. And all the other times that I've moved over the years, out there, like my lower back is just not in pain, but just like sore, like you had done like 2,332 Romanian deadlifts. Like it just felt like that. That last one, I didn't feel a damn thing. Nothing. I didn't feel anything. I'm gonna go back to the Dragon Door article real quick. Working on the farm wasn't about working up to a maximal lift, then calling it a day. It was hours upon hours of work, year after year, and the work would vary quite a bit. Part of the equation involved building a base of work capacity plus tendon ligament strength from moderate intensity work performed frequently and with a purpose. Loading bales of hay for hours wasn't the same as doing burpees and jumping jacks. The bales could vary in weight from 50 to 120 pounds. Now I have my answer. Imagine moving these weights over and over and over again, laying pipe, building fences. It wasn't just one lift over time. It was consistent work over time. Remember when we had talked about why ballerinas and ice skaters and even soccer players have very defined calves? Some of them are even big calves. They're on it all the time. Look at them. It's a constant isometric contraction. The hours upon hours upon hours of practice. Imagine you're walking on your tiptoes every day, every single day. What do you think is going to happen? Now, I need to tell myself that because my calves are not in a good place right now. They're better than what they were, but they're not in a good place. But anyway, taking that back off of me, the time under tension, right? The time under tension is not a huge amount. Let's talk about the biomechanics. These guys are lifting odd objects all the time. As a result, their core is spectacular. Everything comes from the center. We've covered this multiple times on the channel, and that is just 100% the truth. Holding and bracing ourselves with awkward loads, that is going to build a phenomenal amount of strength. Again, the main part of all of this is the frequency at which they're doing it. Now, I want you guys to look at this. I just recently had an iso chain event at our house. We had a pretty wide range of people using the iso chain, from people that don't work out to powerlifters, and from powerlifters to farm strength. I was lucky to get Andrew on the iso chain. Andrew is definitely farm strength. I want you guys to take a look at this. Now look at what he looks like. This is not to say anything negative about him. I love Andrew. Andrew is actually really funny and he's really cool to be around. We had talked about this after we were done lifting. I was like, look, you are almost pulling what he is. You're almost there. We had another good friend of ours who also does manual labor, and his numbers were higher than normal too. I want you to look at these numbers real quick. Now, keep in mind the chain link for these numbers. It is what it is. He was doing great. All of his numbers were definitely above normal. Remember, I put a lot of people on this ISO chain already in the last 18 to 20 months. These numbers definitely caught my attention because, and again, this is no shade to him, it doesn't look like he's able to produce that amount of power. But again, the muscles adapt and they're able to produce forces like that when they're continually being worked with that level of frequency. Imagine doing the ISO chain for hours. Imagine weightlifting for hours, all right? No break. You're just hitting, it doesn't even have to be limit strength 1 RMs all day. You're just lifting weights all day long. Here's something where the farmers have the leg up against scenario 1. The joints. The joints are fantastic. Now, I'm not sure if they really realize the benefits of isometric training because a lot of farmer strength is isometric in nature. It's a ton of holds, a ton. All right, this is fantastic for the connective tissues, the tendons and ligaments. Tendons and ligaments, how many times have I said that over the course of the channel so far, right? Those are important. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So you can have all the muscle in the world, but as soon as this goes, man, it's all over, baby. Better make sure this is strong. This is what keeps you lifting for years. Not this. This. Squad, tell me I'm wrong, right? A lot of excitement in this video, but what have we learned? What we've learned is that it's about the duration. It's about frequency. The main thing that we're covering today is the frequency. Farmer strength is about a lot of holds and the frequency at which we're doing it. These people are strong. If they tackled you, get out of the way. It's going to hurt. These are physically strong people. All they do is work all day long. But you know what I want to hear more than that? I want you guys to come. If you're not even a subscriber, I want you to do this. I want you to comment down below your experience with farmer strength. Have you met someone that had farmer strength? What was your personal experience? Did you have a what the heck moment when you saw them start to actually show that farmer strength? I want you to comment down below what your experiences were. Thanks for watching, squad. I'll see you next video. Peace.